can everybody just give me a quick okay if they can see the screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So welcome to another session of Tech Buddies brought to you by the MPC Foundation. So like I was saying earlier there, we're going to be covering off on two apps today. So for myself, I'm going to be covering off on the Calgary Garbage Day app. Garbage and Recycling Days, which is a very useful app for essentially managing the schedule around collecting your various bins. So the green bin, the blue bin, and the black garbage bin that you guys all have. Our wonderful volunteers from Youth Central are going to be teaching Calgary Transit and how to use that app. So that will be done at the end of this session in the breakout rooms with you individually. So thank you so much, volunteers, today for coming in and for being a part of this. Really do appreciate it there. So to get started with the Garbage and Recycling Days app, what I want you to do is I want you to either go to the App Store or the Google Play Store if you're on iOS or Android, and I want you to type in Calgary Garbage Day. It should come up with an icon that looks like this. Essentially, it's just Calgary with the little bin for one of the three bins on there. If you don't already have it installed, click Install. If you've already got it installed, just click Open, and then I'll show you how to use that. So I'll give everybody a moment to actually get this app there. Okay, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to find that. So essentially what the Calgary Garbage Day app is, if you are like me and you have a terrible memory, the Calgary Garbage Day app is a really, really good app to remember when to put out the different bins. So you have various days where different departments will come and collect the bins that you have. So your green compost bin, your blue recycling bin, or your black garbage bin, those will actually arrive on different days there. They'll come pick them up on different parts or different days, depending on where in the city you actually are. So this app will give you an indication of what days those will be picked up. You can also set reminders for yourself so that you put the bins out the night before, so you never miss a day by accident. Now, when you first load up the app, and unfortunately I don't have a picture of it right here, what it's going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to put in your address. So if you live in a house, this will be useful and you'll be able to pull up the schedule for your area there. In my case, I live in a condo building, so it doesn't really work for me because the condo building does its own collection. They've got a separate schedule for that. But this typically would be good for people who live in houses, standalone, or maybe townhouses where you actually do have the bins there and you have to put them out every week. So when you first get into it, what you're going to see is you're going to see a screen that looks a little bit like this. So on the right-hand side here, you can see that it's got a date on it along with the different bins that are actually collected on that day. I'm actually going to share my iPhone screen with you just so you can see what it would look like on mine. Give me half a second here. And then I'll show you what it looks like when I pull it up on mine. So hopefully you can see that here. So what you're seeing right now is the different collection times for actually my old house, the house that I grew up in. But what you'll see here is different days have different collections. So Friday, March 26th, for instance, is the blue cart recycling. April 1st is black cart, and then you can see the different days for that there. So depending on where you live, this schedule is going to be different for you there. So it's really nice to have this to be able to see when things are being sent. Is anybody not able to see this on their screen? So far, so good. Awesome. So I'm just going to go back to sharing the presentation here. There we go. Okay, so Another nice thing you can do with this app is you can change the language to whatever suits you. So the languages that you have available would be English, you could do French, Korean, simplified Chinese, Punjabi, and Spanish. So the languages or the app is quite versatile for what you can do. If you actually click on one of the icons there, so let's say we clicked on Blue Cart Recycling, and unfortunately I don't have a picture for this, it will actually give you a breakdown of what you can put inside of those bins. So it makes it really easy to keep things organized. And if you do have any questions on what you can put in there, you can always click on either the green bin, the blue bin, or the black bin to figure out what it is that you should be putting into it. Um, I mentioned earlier that you can get notifications on which bins are picked up on which days so that you never miss bringing them out the night before. So under the settings, so the settings are accessed by clicking on the three little dots at the top here. Um, Here you can click on notifications. From there, you can turn on notifications and you can set a time for when the app will notify you. So in this case, the app is set up so that it'll notify you at 6 p.m. the day before the bins are going to be collected. So you can always turn this off if you find that it gets a little bit too annoying, but it's a good idea to have this turned on and set at a reasonable time so that you don't forget. Like what's on the screen here, having it done the day before is probably best. That way you can do it that night, and first thing in the morning when they come to pick it up, you won't miss it. Now on here, oops. So I think here we're just showing another schedule on that. So at the top here, you can see the three little icons, and I believe the app might have been updated just recently. So now those icons are actually at the bottom instead of at the top. But what you have on there is you have the schedule, so you can see a list of when like what days each thing is picked up. On the second one there, this is actually going to bring you up to the Calgary's website. Essentially, it's like a Q&A of what goes where. So if you have questions about what type of product goes into what bin, if you click on the little magnifying glass here, it'll bring you to the City of Calgary's website, and it'll give you a breakdown based on name of where things should go. And then finally, again, the three little dots here will take you to the settings page. So again, if you're on one of the newer versions of this app, you might see these same things at the bottom. Does anybody have any questions with this one so far?
I just want to know, I don't know where to put the light bulbs. So can I go to the same site and check it out where to put it in?
Let's try it. So what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen again. So you were mentioning how you don't know where to put the light bulb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the little magnifying glass at the bottom here. What it's going to do is it's going to bring up the City of Calgary's website. So there's a big list of things that you can find there. So let's actually click on L. So light bulbs. What kind of light bulbs? Because there's a lot of them.
For the the household light bulb, big one.
Oh, like a halogen one? Sorry, the long one?
Yeah.
Oh, fluorescent lights. Okay. So complex fluorescent.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So these ones here, technically these can be, you shouldn't put them in their bin. These should go either to the fire hall or city landfill throw and go area.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it's because they have mercury inside of these ones.
Yeah, okay. Because I take it to Best Store, she say that they don't take it, so I don't know where to go. Okay, now I know.
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So there's lots of things that you can throw out or recycle or compost, and then there's a few things like these light bulbs or even propane canisters where they just shouldn't go into the garbage bin there. So I know the city prefers having them go to the other places.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So,
sorry, excuse me, how to get to this page?
Oh, sure. So Lily, when you click on the app there, do you see at the bottom there's a little magnifying glass? So in the Calgary Garbage Day app, do you see the little magnifying glass? Let me go back. So again, it might be at the top or the bottom, but do you see this icon here?
Yeah, Ryan? Yes. I click on that and they say the page not available.
Oh, weird. I know when I click on it, it brings you just to the City of Calgary's website there. What I can do in just a couple of minutes too is I can post the website address on the chat
Oh, that's
page as well.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah.
But it should just be the little magnifying glass that brings it to you. It should be an automatic link that opens up your web browser on your phone to actually get you to that page.
Okay.
And once you are on that page, how do you get back onto the previous page?
So it's actually opening up a separate app. So what you would need to do
Okay.
is switch back to the other app. So when you click on the little magnifying glass, what it's doing is it's opening up your web browser. So if you're on iOS, it's probably opening up Safari. If you're on an Android device, it's probably opening up Chrome. So what you would need to do is just switch from that app to the one that you had before.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's okay. Couldn't do it, but I can actually go back to
What you can always,
Calgary.
what
Yes,
you can
yes,
always do
yes.
is just
I
close
got to
the-
close it and then come back.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. How do you find the notification page?
So for the notifications there, what you would do for that one is the three little dots. Again, it's either going to be at the top of the page
Oh,
or at the
okay.
bottom,
Yes.
depending on whether you are on the
Yes,
older
yes, I
version and
found
newer
it.
version. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So something else that I'm going to point out with this app is in addition to learning about the different garbage day collections and getting notifications for that, this app is also good for connecting you with some of the other City of Calgary apps. So again, under those three little dots, at the bottom is going to be something called City Apps. So if you click on that, it will actually pull up a bunch of different apps that are available through the City of Calgary. I believe that when you click on these links there, it'll actually bring those, it'll bring the links up in whatever app store you're using. So either Google Play or the App Store on iOS. But there's a lot of really useful ones there. So Calgary Transit, which we're going to be talking about in the next little while there. 311 Calgary, which we'll be talking about in a future session. My Parking, which is nice, so you can pay for parking. And if you like to golf, there's even a golf app for that too. There's a few other things as well. So in addition to learning about the different days to collect garbage and compost and recycling, I also want to make you aware of some of the other things that are available within the City of Calgary. So if you were to ever go on your phone and dial any one of these phone numbers here, you would actually be connecting to different departments within the city. So all of these are actually really important to be aware of. So 911, this one is probably one of the most basic ones that you're going to remember there. 911 is the emergency services number. So if you need a fire truck, a police car, or an ambulance, call 911. That's how you get the emergency line. In addition to that, 311 is the non-emergency city information or request line. So you can actually call 311 to report some sort of issue within the city. Say you found a pothole or there was a street light that had a burnt out light bulb and you wanted to notify the city. You could actually do that through the 311 phone number. There is also a 311 app, which we'll be talking about in a future session where you can report it online as well. 211 is community and social resources. So this will connect you with some of the city departments to essentially just find out different things for social resources. That one, again, we'll have to talk about in a future session in greater detail here. 811, this is like a Healthline or HealthLink. This is provided by registered nurses and is actually really useful if you ever get into trouble where you say it's not an emergency, you don't need an ambulance, but you do want to get some information on what it is that's happening to you without actually, say, going to the hospital. Where I've seen this before is if somebody eats something where they think it might be poisonous, but they don't need an ambulance quite at that point, you can call 811, talk with a nurse there, and just chat with them about various things that are happening. They may recommend that you go see a doctor, or if they think it's really serious, they might connect you to 911, or they might tell you to go to the hospital. But that one is useful. 411, this is directory access. So 411 is where you can actually try to get the city of Calgary to connect you with somebody else there. It doesn't always work because they have to have their numbers listed and they have to be registered in the system there. But think of this as like a telephone version of Yellow Pages, where you can call this number there and they can try to get you connected with different people and different departments too within various government organizations. 511, this one's Alberta Traffic and Transit Information. So you can call this number if you are reporting some sort of traffic incident or if you are trying to get an update on what's actually happening with traffic or with transit. So this one can be useful if you're trying to get bus schedules or if you are trying to, you're in a giant traffic jam and you're just trying to figure out what's happening there. Any questions on this part?
411, do you have to pay for it when
That's a
you?
good question. I don't know. Does 411 have a charge? Let me find out. Hang on 2 seconds.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So it does have a charge depending on which carrier you use.
Really?
According to, so I just did a quick search for it there, but Bell charges $2.49 for using
Oh.
for using 411 access. So thank you for actually asking this question. So yes, 411 actually does have a fee associated with it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Here, the thing about directory access is I just find that searching on Google is actually probably easier than calling 411, and it's free too. So
Yeah.
just another option that's available to you.
Yeah.
Any other questions that anybody has for this one?
Sorry, Ryan, I was late. What's the name of this app?
Oh, so
I got on Garbage Day, Calgary Garbage Day, but that's not it, right?
No, you're actually on the right app. So Calgary Garbage Day is the
Oh.
app that we first talked about. This is actually slightly separate from the app itself. What we're doing
I
is just
see.
talking about some of the other city resources that are
Oh.
available.
Okay.
So the first part was talking about Garbage Day and figuring out collection times. This
Yeah.
one is just talking about some of the other things that are available within the city of
Okay.
Calgary.
Okay, good. I'm on the right track.
Perfect. Anybody else have any questions for these numbers? If not, all right. So
Oh, right.
yeah.
For 411, if I want to find out whether a phone has been disconnected or not, would I be able to find out?
That's a good question. I actually don't know if you'd be able to find that out through 411. What they might be able to tell you is if there is somebody at a number. However, it's more like a directory, right? So like if you were to think of like the old days with the white pages where you have a whole list of numbers and you could find the number there. If somebody chooses not to be listed on the service there, then they wouldn't be able to find it. The other thing is I don't know how often they actually update their listings. I think it's probably pretty regularly. But if I don't know if they could actually tell you whether a phone number has been disconnected or not. What you could always do is just try calling that number. If you get a message saying this number is no longer in service, that's probably a pretty good indication for that.
But what if they don't? They just said no one is answering.
Oh, like it just rings for forever?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You can try calling and asking them something like that, but I don't actually know if that's a service that they would provide as part of directory assistance.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I'm not able to provide you more information on that part.
No problem.
All right, so now I have a little mini pop quiz for you. So can the Garbage Day app send you a reminder the day before there is a garbage day in your community?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can set it so that it reminds you the day before, or you can set your own custom schedule for that. What is 3114?
City info.
Non-emergency report.
Yeah, exactly. This one is really, really good because there's a lot of things that go on in Calgary. It's a very big city, and the city services don't always know when something is going wrong. So through 311, you can actually report various incidents, and hopefully by reporting it, the city will send out teams to actually fix it. So for instance, all those potholes, or if you have a burnt out light or whatever else it is within the public grounds of the city, if they don't know about it, they can't fix it. So report it through 311. What is 811 for?
Oh,
Helpline.
Healthcare.
Information.
Yeah, you got it. So if you have a situation where it's not an emergency, you don't need an ambulance, but you do want to find out some details about various health related questions, you can call 811 and you'll be connected to a registered nurse to be able to ask about that. Say you have a cold or you've caught COVID and you're not sure what's actually happening. You're not sure if it's serious enough that you have to go in or if you should just stay at home and self-isolate. You can call 811 and talk with one of the registered nurses and they can give you great information on what you should do next. So it's a very useful phone number for that. I've had to call them before where I've eaten something that I probably shouldn't have and haven't been feeling so wonderful. So I've called them to find out what I should do about it. And they were wonderful, super friendly. So I would definitely suggest using that service. All right. So next, what we're going to be doing is going into the breakout rooms with the volunteers to learn about the Calgary Transit app and just to have an opportunity for you to ask any other questions that you have. So I'm going to stop sharing right now and we're going to figure out how to get